What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I just got finished putting together the initial draft for what looks to be one of the wildest stories I've covered in a long time. And I almost feel like this is just like scratching the surface of a nutty situation that goes extremely deep. Like, this is a rabbit hole that will go to China and beyond. I've never seen something that just every time you find something, there's like another layer connected to another layer. And it's just like, oh, this person's intertwined with this person. And it's just all these connections behind the scenes. And all it goes back to relating is diversity, equity, and inclusion in the game industry. And a bunch of people behind the scenes working together to find ways to coerce game companies to work with them. And shout out to Madam Savvy for bringing all this together. JT. Hit that subscribe if you like, and check out smashjt.com for this full article that I will link in the description below. And I am right now in the back room. I have not published it yet, but it will go live when the video does. It's called The Hidden Influence Behind Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto Woke Censorship. And again, credit to Madam Savvy for uncovering what is a pretty insane situation. We're going to try my best to start off at the beginning because holy crap, this thread is wild. First off, this is what Madam Savvy posted on X, and it's a banger. It's a thread that just keeps on going, and then when she was done, she added a whole nother section and added that to it as well. But basically surmise it to Rockstar was being, we'll just say, coerced by some activists, ironically, one of them working at Kotaku, pushing an agenda of making sure that anything that could be considered anti-trans or trans jokes were removed from the video game because their feelings got hurt. But only trans, because Grand Theft Auto kept everything else. The trans stuff, for whatever reason, went over the line. And it's something that I've seen not just with Rockstar, not just with video games in general, but YouTube as a platform as well. I've seen friend of the channel Hypnotic be wrecked by this situation where his channel has gotten strikes and videos got taken down by merely covering a situation with a trans person. And it just feels like it's a protected class that you're not even allowed to talk about, which is really weird when it comes to the freedom of art and expression and giving opinions on things, why there's one certain segment of a population that is just, for whatever reason, untouchable. But I digress. Anyways, shout out to Savvy for this. She made this thread about out making games, which ironically, as you can see here, is no longer a thing. Right after she made this thread, they went into hiding. No different than what Wings did, Wings Interactive, when Master of the TDS came out with his scoop on the story and how they were related behind the scenes with game companies and Sweet Baby Inc. and all that stuff. All these people do. They all do the same thing. They all run and hide. As soon as the light gets turned on, they scatter like cockroaches. Who's really influencing Rockstar Games? Many might recall the controversy when Grand Theft Auto 5 suddenly removed so-called transphobic content while leaving every other stereotype and offensive joke intact. Many people brush it off as Rockstar evolving with the times, but the real question always was, who started that? Savvy found it out, and maybe someone else found this out as well previously, but I had not seen this before. This was an open letter to Rockstar Games signed by Out Making Games. And would you look at this? Halfway through the letter, we got, as Carolyn Petit writes in Kotaku, unlike for other random NPCs in Grand Theft Auto 5, the game appears to purposefully play into extremely harmful stereotypes of trans and gender diverse people to encourage players to be repulsed by them and even to relish hurting and killing them. Which, I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto. The trans aren't special when it comes to that. It's a game that's basically based around doing whatever the hell you want in an open sandbox crazy environment. But for some reason, this letter that was penned by Out Making Games, referencing Carolyn Petit, who is a dude that cosplays as a woman at Kotaku, referenced here, and they had an article that was referenced as well. They sent this over to Rockstar Games, And wouldn't you know it, Rockstar Games removes transphobic content from Grand Theft Auto 5. And here's the thing. If you're a game developer in the UK and you want any influence in the industry, the UKIE holds the keys. And what that means is they work with OMG, which, by the way, out making games, is intertwined in the background. And this is where you start getting in the weeds of the UKIE working behind the scenes with OMG. And then you start diving deeper into who works with the UKIE. And this guy keeps showing up. His name is James Dodd, who is a him, OMG director and chair, partner at Martin Tripp Associates and UKIE. We're going to get into all this. And this is just one dude. There is like a network of people, by the way, that all these people have connections to each other. And if you don't bend the knee, you will be blackballed out of their club and then ergo out of the industry, which is what forces people to go along with this extortion of DEI. I said James Dodd, a key player in this network, runs UKIE's DEI sector while also at the same time working with OMG. Some might call this a conflict of interest, but hey, who am I to infer anything of that sort? And then we have the BAFTA Games, which is all reliable. BAFTA, nothing to see here with them. Of course, they're promoting James Dodd as well. And then we get down here to how he is also involved with Raise the Game Pledge, a DEI commitment designed to pressure game studios into compliance, which again goes back to the whole Sweet Baby Inc. extortion thing. Threaten, take your secretary out and threaten them. If they don't sign up with you, what's going to happen to them? He also has his name plastered on Martin Tripp Associates website, which is a recruitment firm that specializes in placing C-suite executives into companies. And you guys can probably see where I'm going with all of this, how somebody is connected with all these organizations. And, oh, by the way, he is mentioned on Martin Tripp for the C-suite executives in game companies. And this is a quote from Jonty Barnes, the CEO of Formation Games, saying, "Over the course of the past couple of years, I've had the privilege of working alongside James Dodd from Martin Tripp Associates. Their dedication has been instrumental in driving our business forward, far exceeding our expectations. Moreover, collaborating with them has been an absolute joy. Whenever our company is in need of key talent to augment our capabilities, James Dodd is always the person I call upon." And they go back into Tripp Associates, what they are. They go, "We are an international team from around the world who believe we can improve business through people. Executive search lies at the core of what we do." Don't you think there's a little bit of a conflict of interest here when we got this guy as part of OMG, who's also being promoted by the BAFTA Awards and also on Raise the Game Pledge, where he's part of the DEI initiatives there? It's just a little convenient that this person is connected to all of these groups. And again, this is just one person. I could make an entire 4-hour live stream talking about every single one of these people and still just be scratching the surface of how deep this rabbit hole goes. I cannot stress that enough. But anyways, so we go to Rocksteady's connection to OMG. So it's not just Rockstar, but we also have Rocksteady being a part of all of this as well. And Savvy goes into talking about that. Rocksteady has been actively supporting and funding them. And this raises some more serious questions. Rocksteady is one of UK's top game studios responsible for Batman Arkham series, yet now it appears to be deeply embedded in the DEI machine. How? Because Rocksteady employees also sit on OMG's board. And again, you could see how there's a little bit of a conflict of interest here, where people are sitting on a board of a DEI firm for consultancy and enabling DEI while also working at the game company. I just kind of feel like, they're going to make sure they inject DEI if there's a compatible company connected to them with these people on the board working side by side with them. It's a major problem in the game industry. Then we get to Safe in Our World. And additionally, the influence extends far beyond everything else that I was talking about into awards and recognitions. And according to Savvy, Safe in Our World is yet another DEI-driven organization serving as yet another financial pipeline for these groups. Get into more awards. We got Outstanding Diversity Network Award for outmaking games. And I said they don't rest, and every inch they're given will pull for miles. Their biggest concern these days? Meta's recent pushback against DEI policies, showing just how much these groups rely on corporate compliance to remain relevant. So now it looks like they're pushing against Meta and making sure that they are more inclusive and letting people to be censored because they don't like the fact that Mark Zuckerberg went on that speech talking about how Meta and Facebook are going to reel back all their restrictions because they were blaming it on like the Biden regime, and now Trump's there, so they don't need to put all that restrictions in place. These corporations are now like, whoa, no, you need to put those censorships back in place because that is what enables us and pays us. Without that happening, there is no use for these companies and they wither and die. These groups are continuing to prop themselves up with bogus awards, and that's a tactic that's become aggressively common since all the way back in 2010. Industry awards used to, at one glorious point, recognize merit, but now, no. You have to say the right things, and you get a trophy, you gain credibility, and you reinforce the DEI cycle. This is what everything has been going on about, and it's exactly why so many game journalists and developers are furious over Stuttering Craig's The Real Game Awards, because they don't control it. They will laugh at it, poke fun at it, but in the end, they're scared of it because they see it as a potential area that could siphon power away from their grip. And it feels far more accurate than any kind of crazy conspiracy theory that I've been dealing with when researching this stuff. And then I talk about the parallel to Wings Interactive. For those of you who aren't familiar, again, check out the Smash JT website in the description if you want the Wings Interactive and how they're just a front for Landfall Games and how Master of the TDS exposed that, and they deleted their social media presence nearly immediately after that too. It's just weird how this stuff keeps happening as soon as people find it, how they just delete any kind of footprint they can as soon as possible, even though the internet is forever, and in most cases, it's been archived anyways, but hey, they're going to run and hide as much as they can. And then I finish it off saying, is Grand Theft Auto done for? Let's be real. Grand Theft Auto 6 is obviously going to sell millions of copies no matter what. Normies are still going to buy it on launch day. Rockstar will still continue making billions, but the real issue isn't a financial one. It's creative freedom. If Rockstar has to answer to groups like OMG and UKIE to maintain industry standing, they will continue to be reined in and forced to censor themselves. Gone are the days where Rockstar could just push boundaries without any kind of interference. The industry isn't changing. It's just being controlled by these DEI operatives. And it's not a tinfoil hat theory anymore. It's been proven time and time again. The US aid situation was just one of many that we've uncovered along the way. And that's basically it. A huge shout out again to Madam Savvy for the insane deep dive that she did with all this information and uncovering it, because holy crap, is it a rabbit hole. Like I said, it's not just one person. It's a whole bunch of people that are intertwined and connected in the background, and it goes on and on and on with all these people connected, rainbow flags, everything you'd expect, inclusion, diversity, equity, and give us your money or we're going to try our best to cancel your company and make sure you never step foot in the game industry again, which for a while worked, but these days it doesn't seem like that's happening as much anymore. And they know their number is up. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Again, if you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I'm going to publish it as soon as I upload this video. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT.